Ramble.
Hello, ladies. Block his number and enjoy your fall.
That's it.
It's normally summer, but fall,
I love
it applies.
Amazing.
Pretty basic.
Hey guys, welcome.
Sorry.
What is hilarious? What's so funny, Rem? We're keeping all this. Rich, keep it in.
I was just thinking, you know how I just said block his number and enjoy your fall?
Yeah.
I remember this is perfect for this episode. A few years ago, I was hooking up with a fuckboy. And I was really teetering with the emotions one way, the other, hot, cold. And I thought, I went on Pinterest and I saw this board that said block his number and enjoy your summer. And I thought that it was Gandhi walked, so that quote could run. And I was like, you're right, enjoy your summer, block his number. I blocked his number. I put it on my letterboard. I woke up and looked at it every morning. Then I hooked up with him again, and he came over to my house and saw it and was like,
I remember.
Really?
I remember you saying that he pointed out.
I remember because I think he came over to shower or something, or he stopped by.
Oh yeah, he came over to shower.
It was really a shower, but I had him on the way to the bathroom, and I remember just being like, ooh.
It's clearly not about you.
Of course.
Well, welcome to today's episode. As you can already tell, we are going to have, honestly, a pretty iconic episode today. And we're basically going to help you guys out,
Yes, this one is for Abby Parsons, who is Cal's sister, who reached out to me and said, Remy, I need help getting over a fuckboy. And I said,
hold on.
Hopefully I got you. And so we're going to do an episode for you today on the pretty basic guide to getting over a fuckboy. What is a fuckboy? How do you identify them? And
some of you guys don't even know you're being played.
I mean, I didn't know I was being played by many people until now.
Some of you have
back.
hearts next to his name in your phone and you shouldn't.
Oh, some of you are blocking his number and then you're going to hook up with him later.
It's okay. We just need to be self-aware.
Yeah, no, it's fine. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with it, but
it's a fine line. It's a weird conversation. And there's definitely double standards when it comes to guys and girls. And in the end, girls usually get more hurt by the fuckboys, I would say.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now, we're going to dive into it. We're going to give you all of our advice. Take it or leave it. We are not professional. Well, we've been professionally heartbroken before.
That's true.
So, take it or leave it.
This is just our guide, what we think. Again, don't know if it's going to work for you, but honestly, I feel like I've learned a lot, and
it's just a conversation that needs to be had.
It really is.
And I will say, we decided to do some research with this episode, okay? We said, what better thing to go to the source of fuckboys themselves? Let's talk to some fuckboys we know. Now, the list was pretty short.
But I realized I have two straight guy friends, one of which is my boyfriend.
So we asked any eligible ex fuckboys, because we don't or current.
Oh my God, I should have asked some of them that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
Shoot. Sorry.
It's okay. We asked around, hey, why, how does a girl get over a fuckboy? A girl that's obsessed with this guy, he wants nothing more than just to have fun, have some fun, hook up, whatever. Why do girls get so attached, So we're going to dive into it.
I'm really trying to reflect on my life right now. Okay.
We have a list. So whoever you're thinking of right now that needs to listen to this episode, just send them the link. Just no context, send them the link.
Your best friend's being, you're a little worried she might be running around with the wrong guy and she's going to get her heart broken. Send her this and maybe it'll help her see the red flags a little sooner.
Perfect. So I think at the top of this, we should start at what even is the definition of a fuckboy. I feel like everyone has different perspectives, different ideas. Does it mean someone who is super charming and is playing with your feelings? Is it someone who just wants to just get around or whatever? What does Urban Dictionary say?
I'm looking it up. Okay. So the Urban Dictionary term for fuckboy is someone who is looking for a piece of ass to use then throw away. So I think I was thinking about this. I was like, what is hopefully we don't get in trouble for cussing so much on this episode. What is the difference between an asshole or just like a jerk versus a fuckboy. And I think I have learned now an asshole is like, it's more like mannerisms, just being rude in general, I think, to like other people. You know how you can really clock it with like a waiter or an Uber driver. Like if they're just rude, then they're just an asshole. Or I guess if they're rude to their family, rude to friends, you know, just like not nice to people, just very selfish. I think that a fuckboy is just someone who is very driven by just sex and is selfish in that way. Like sex is the main driver of whatever they're doing, number one priority, and they will do whatever to get there. So someone can be an asshole and also a fuckboy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, in my head, I see them very differently. I think in my head, I don't know if this is how other people see it. I see a fuckboy as someone who is pretty charming, like knows what they're doing when they're like, hey, babe, whatever. But they're like, oh, like, I don't want anything serious right now. Like, da-da-da-da. And like, we'll like lead a girl on, but then like doesn't care, like emotionally not there whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely.
And just like in the end, he knows he's not into her, but he still is hooking up because why not? You know what I mean? Like he's just having fun. And she's probably even voiced a few times to him like, hey, what are we? Like, can we have a little like DTR, define the relationship moment? And he's just like, yeah, like, I hope you can understand. I'm just not there. Like he knows. He doesn't want to come out and just openly say like, oh yeah, I literally just want to like fuck. You know what I mean? But I think deep down, like, he knows what he's doing.
I think that's completely true.
But see,
I'm also getting triggered while recording this episode.
And I don't know. I feel like obviously just the movie stereotype, you always picture this like really like hot guy who's like super charming. I don't think that's always the case. I feel like there's a lot of guys who are scared of commitment. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Why do we expect 20-year-olds to want commitment? I think that is where girls, listen, I think our expectation, this is why they say girls are so much more like mature than guys. I think our expectations of them coming out of high school wanting to get married is so just not accurate. Like, yes, that can happen every now and then, and it's a random one. But in the end, like, you have so much life to live.
Not the exception to the rule.
And I feel like girls see like, oh, I have so much life to live in different ways than guys. I feel like guys see, I have so much life to live in the fact of like, how many girls can I hook up with? Like they sad. She's like, I'm sad. I don't know. And I don't want to like,
obviously we're stereotyping here, but I do think if you look, I mean, I can speak from my own perspective. My whole life, I feel like I've never been like a big dreamer, but I do know, like, you know, growing up my whole life, I want to have a career, I want to get married, I want to have kids, like that's it. And I feel like guys think that as well, but they're just so much longer down
career.
Yeah,
like that's like true. All like, I don't know. And again, being so open, I know not every guy is like this. Like I do know not every guy's a cheater. Like I'm very aware of that. We're talking about the fuckboys here, okay? We're talking about a niche group, okay?
I wouldn't call it that niche. They're pretty big.
They're
pretty
big
group.
Not rare. It's easy to find. So of course we didn't come to this episode not prepared. Rem, hit him with an article.
All right. So I found this article via Men's Health, which I'm actually a very big fan of Men's Health, and their YouTube channel. Have you watched the YouTube channel?
No.
So interesting. They have like all these different, whether it's like bodybuilders or just men celebrities, they'll come on and do like workout routines and gym tours and French tours.
Why do girls read articles about guys written by girls when like we should be reading the articles that guys are writing about stuff, which obviously that's very
you're getting in their brain.
Well, the thing is girls are listening to this right now and we're girls. So a little hypocritical.
They should be listening to views or something.
But I'm like, go to the source, you know, because a guy wrote this article, correct?
Yes. So this is by Zachary Zane, and it's titled, "Here's What It Means When Someone Calls You a Quote Unquote Fuckboy." And then underneath it says, "It's not something you should be proud of." Interesting. So
it's interesting that a guy would think that. Why does he say they shouldn't be proud of it?
Okay, let me get into this. So he first off starts by talking about where the term came from and then goes into just the dictionary.com definition, which we kind of went through already. So he said basically from that definition, he pulled 3 things, which is number 1, it's a man who doesn't respect women.
Ooh, tea.
Number 2, simultaneously, he's dependent on women.
Yes.
And number 3, he engages in selfish behavior without caring whether or not he hurts women. So see, it's like it's selfishness.
Okay. Sorry. Say the first point again.
It's a man who doesn't respect women.
I heard from an ex-fuckboy that they only respect their mom and that's it when it comes to like females. When they're in their fuckboy stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they're like, don't talk about my mom that way, because they love, like they respect their mom, but probably because they've seen what their dad's done to their mom, you know what I mean? And they hate their dad from it. Sorry, me going into all this deep shit. Totally, I see that. But yeah, someone had said, hey, like most of the time, they only respect their mom and that's it. Second point.
You know what? I'm thinking about the few encounters that I've had, and most of them were mama's boys.
Really?
Yeah, most of them were. And they had a weird, granted, like I will say every situation that I was able to like dive more into had some sort of like problem with the dad in the past. And this is just my
honestly, that's really sad, but yeah.
situation. But yeah, they would always like, they put their mom on a pedestal for sure. So
yeah,
interesting.
T. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Second point.
Simultaneously, he's dependent on women.
This is my whole thing. He's dependent on women to make him feel good, physically, emotionally,
egotistically.
Why do we stroke their ego when they don't deserve it?
No, we stroke a lot when they don't deserve it.
Yes. Why? This is gonna be an explicit episode.
It's definitely a mutual thing. Like I would feel like my ego was being stroked because I'm like, oh, they're into me. Like I'm good enough. I'm hot enough. I'm this enough. And then they're getting their ego stroked because it's like, oh, this girl's, it's like, it's a mutual thing, of course, which is normal.
But if guys knew how much it's fake, like girls stroking their egos is fake. When you're like,
it's fake? I don't know. It's never being fake.
No. When you're, I don't know, but when you're like, oh my God, you're so strong, like that kind of shit. And you're just trying to make them like feel good about themselves.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
Even just like faking a fucking orgasm. Can I say that? Like,
yeah.
Like completely.
I've never faked one in my life though.
That's great.
I would never fake. I don't understand faking
It's a thing. But the thing is that it's
like
such a
make
thing.
them feel like shit if they don't do it.
Thank you.
It's like, did you have a good time? No. Go leave. I'm going home now.
How does it feel? Bye.
Yeah. I personally have never though.
Point being, I think guys are very dependent on girls to fill a void. But at the same time, going to point 3,
he engages in selfish behavior without caring whether or not he hurts women.
Because he would rather hurt them before they hurt him.
Yes.
Think about it. Even I'm like this. Like when the ball's in my court in any situation, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm hot shit. But then when it's flipped, you're like, wait, come back.
Oh, completely. That's like the most normal thing about dating ever. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, you guys, I can't believe we got this sponsor. I live, breathe, laugh, love apartments.com. If you guys have not heard of apartments.com, it is the most popular place to find a place. I indeed have used it for literally every other apartment in my life up until I moved to this house.
I've also used it without planning on moving because it's just, I'm not kidding. I love looking up places, or anytime my friends are stressed about moving, I always volunteer to help them move. And I'm not kidding. I literally I go to apartments.com, search in the area, whatever. I am obsessed. So if you are looking to move, or if you just want to window shop like me, apartments.com has the most listings across apartments, houses, townhomes, and condos, and powerful search tools to help you find exactly what you need. They do so much more than just apartments. So even if you're looking for any type of real estate, definitely use them.
Also, what I love is their easy filtering system to go through. So, if you know exactly what you want, you can find exactly what you need on apartments.com. It makes it so easy. It's a literal no-brainer. So you should definitely try it out.
And it's so good to be picky if you're wanting a pool, or if you're wanting a high rise, or if you're wanting even something like a dog park connected to your apartment. Like it feels picky, but it's actually so nice. And I feel like they do the best job actually filtering through. So be as picky as possible because it'll help you find it. So don't get overwhelmed with that.
Also, they're really great because they have virtual tours, which make it so easy to just virtually tour a home, an apartment, whatever, from wherever you are. You could do it like while you're standing to buy groceries, while you're hanging out on the couch. Like you do not have to leave wherever you are, and you can check out some awesome places.
To get into your next place, visit apartments.com today. Apartments.com, the most popular place to find a place.
I think that there's different levels of a fuckboy. So I think with every different, there's a tier. With every level of quote unquote dating, you can find a fuckboy within that. So whether you start off, with the most basic, we have the dating app / texting.
Mm-hmm, which, I mean, I've gotten into that.
We all know
when you're lonely. I mean, there's like, for instance, this one guy, I remember like hitting him up on, I forget what app I was on. And from the get-go, just from his freaking photos, I was like, oh, you's a fuckboy. Mm-hmm. But I was lonely. I was like, okay, I'll match with you.
Hi.
Emoji.
A little blushy face, a little puppy.
Hi. Yeah. Even from the first conversation, it wasn't even like, oh, let's have a little bit of a convo. It just went straight to like, yo, where are you going to be Saturday? Or something like that. And it was funny because instantly I'm like, oh, you's a fuckboy. But yet I was still replying. Why was I still replying? Because a bitch was fucking lonely. You know what I mean? She was like, oh, like, I could use some conversation right now. That is where I think a lot of people kind of go wrong. Because in the end, you have to be first tip, okay? Be real with yourself with what you want.
Completely.
That is the first number one tip. You have to go into a situation and say, oh, you're trying to use me. Okay, well, I'm just going to use you back. Or you have to be able to be like, hey, I'm actually really wanting a relationship right now. So like, that's not it for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think being real with yourself in that moment, in the first encounter of meeting said fuckboy, you have to be real with yourself.
I think it worked out for you because when you're on dating apps currently, you're not looking for anything serious. It's COVID. You're not going to go meet up with random strangers. Mm-hmm. So like, you're fine to just chat. Mm-hmm. Just a little flirtatiousness. Yeah. That's fine. For me personally, when I was on dating apps, I only wanted to date to have a boyfriend. Like I was like, I don't want to like date like a bunch of people. I just like, I saw my friends having their significant others, stable relationships. I was like, that's what I want, which I feel like some people, I feel like I was like that actually for a while till I had been burned a few times. And then I was kind of like, this sucks. I'm just going to have fun. So it's like, but at that time, had I gone into dating apps with my like, I just want to have fun mentality, which I did.
Yeah.
First of all, that's when I met Cal. But second of all, that's when I feel like I would have been the least burned by guys because I was so like, I don't even care anymore. But I will say why I was so burned was because I was going onto these dating apps and meeting people because I wanted a relationship. And so I would form every single guy in my head that a lot of them were fuckboys into being quote unquote like my perfect boyfriend.
Well, that's another problem with online dating, which I still find is, I mean, we all have a dream person in our head. When you just see a hot photo and a name, you instantly they become that person.
Oh, they're Ryan Gosling.
Literally. Like oh my God, they have everything going for them. So I feel like that's another thing that's hard is like everyone deep down wants love. You know what I mean? Guy, girl, whoever. So when you're just like, love me. And then, then all the fucking sharks come out and they're like, oh.
Hello. Nudes. Pics. You up?
Yeah. You up?
But I think like with the one situation that I was definitely hurt the most by, it was because I was not being real with myself. I wanted a relationship, and the whole time to every other person in my life, I'd be like, I'm just trying to the guy, I'd be like, I'm just trying to hook up. I'm cool. I'm chill. When I'd come home and cry because I wasn't chill.
Yeah, that's the thing about you, but you're very open about is like you will say things out loud to convince yourself, but like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know you're just saying that to convince yourself because I know the truth, but it's okay. It's okay.
You let me live.
Yes.
But I would have saved myself so much heartache if I had just been real with myself first and been like,
yeah,
bitch, you want a relationship. That's fine.
Yeah.
But then don't hook up with someone who only wants to hook up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So that's the first thing. Dating app and texting. Of course, after that, we have like first meeting / date. On a first date, if they are just trying to hook up or not. It is very apparent. You know it for the most part, I would say.
Well, let's take, scenario B. A girl has been talking to a guy. They go on their first date. And you know what? She doesn't even really want much out of it. Let's say that. Let's say both of them are just like, like it's casual, nothing serious. Now what happens maybe 3 weeks into it, Girl starts catching feelings.
Oof.
She's like, shit, I'm jealous when I see that you're with someone else. Or you were out the other night and you didn't ask me to go out with you. Or was that your sister in your photo? Because I know you scrolled on their Instagram to check. You're in their tagged, you just start lurking more. You're social media stalking. You're looking at all of their stuff and you notice that you are and you're like, shit, why? I'm caught.
You know what? I think with most of the guys that I've hooked up with that were F-boys ended up being pretty honest with me of being like, I'm just looking for a hookup. And it's on me for being like, I can change that.
Yeah. Oh,
I can make them love me.
Okay, guys, here's what you need to write down right now, wherever you are. Even if you're driving, tell Siri to write it in your notes. This was quote from ex-fuckboy. Girls can only change their clothes. You can't change anyone else. You can't change a guy. He won't change for you. You can only change the clothes that you are currently wearing. It's up to the guy to change. They have to come to that themselves. They will not change for you. Maybe we can hope. But in the end, if, again, we're talking about specific fuckboy, if he is in his fuckboy stage and he is living his life, as much as you want to believe you're the one that can change him,
You're not.
I'm so sorry to tell you that.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
It is, because you know why? You're like, come on, I'm great.
I know. Trust me, I know. That's what I was stuck in for years. I think because it's an ego thing. It's like, how come I can't be the one?
Yeah.
Like, why is it not me? But it's really not you, girl.
No, it's
when you're
not
listening,
you.
It's not you, it's him. I promise you. It took me so long to understand.
Also, this is what I would always tell you. I would always tell Rim, think of the chance of finding that perfect person. On top of that, with divorce rate being like 50%, 60%, what is the chance that this guy like is the one, or you're even the one for them? It's like, you should switch the perspective of feeling like, am I good enough for them, to be like, are you good enough for me? Because realistically, like, the chance of you being good is like 0.00001. So like, let's see how this goes, instead of flipping it being like, oh, is this guy it? Is this guy the one? Is this guy the one? Like,
are you the one for me?
Are you the one for me? Like, I don't know. Let me interview you. Let me like, I don't know. I don't like that. Like, switching that perspective. And honestly, I feel like that even helps relationships, because like, anyone wants to be with someone who's confident and sure of themselves. You know what I mean? Obviously, don't be a bitch, but just being not so.
I think it's all just about putting yourself first. You are allowed to be selfish when you are dating or when you're hooking up with people. Like, you are allowed to put yourself first. You should put yourself first. Mm-hmm. Like, my friend has been hooking up with a guy recently, and it was like going well, and she knew it was casual. But when she went to his house and they were hooking up after they were done, she looks over and he's on Tinder swiping while she's there. Like, I understand that. To me, it's like, yeah, then you're allowed to hook up. And like, yeah, you could also be on Tinder when you go home and things like that by yourself. But to me, I was so offended for her, because it's like, don't do it in front of me. I feel like, you have your boundaries set if you guys want to talk about it or not, that you're going to hook up, that you're going to be seeing other people. That's fine. But don't do it in front of me.
So this goes to our next point. It's hard. I'm thinking of me in that situation, as much as I would love to be like, get out of here, I deserve better, blah, blah, blah. In that moment, though, here's the key word: comfortable. When you are comfortable with someone, it's so much easier to let things slide, whether it's a friend or just like, fuck buddy situation. When you're just comfortable with someone, it's just like, oh, whatever. The thought of ending things to start over again, to find someone else that you're comfortable with again, just comfortable, not even like dating.
I mean, that's why you usually go back and sleep with your ex a couple times.
Yes, because
it's comfortability.
Yes. So I think that's something where us girls need to realize, you know what? Ew, go. I deserve better than even someone just swiping on Tinder next to me. Like no, hell no. And there are so many more of them out there. You can find so much better.
You can find someone to hook up with who will just leave and swipe on Tinder in his car.
Well, even with you, I remember always telling you too, I was like, Rem, you have to think about it this way. If you wanted a boyfriend, you could get one tomorrow, but like you would hate them and they'd be a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like what you want is something real. Like you want an actual like good relationship. So don't stress about getting a boyfriend where now look what you have. You know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of girls forget that. It's like, yeah, you could have any relationship tomorrow, but in the end, you don't want any relationship. You want a good one. Look at your friend. I know you have someone in mind right now who's in a relationship that you're like, yeah, I don't want that. You could have that.
You're talking to me? You're talking to the audience?
The audience.
I was like, what friend?
You're like, no.
I was racking my brain.
You're like, who is dating someone?
What's the tea? Sis?
I feel like you could totally settle and that's fine. But some of you also don't want that. We're getting off topic. That's a whole other subject.
I know. This is
back
us
to
talking
the
about
fuckboys.
relationships.
How do we get over a fuckboy?
Okay, so men's health, back to our article. Actually, the next one, little like title of this is what should you do if fuckboy applies to you? So this is talking to guys.
To men, okay.
And basically what this guy said is it comes down to just hookup culture and doing it in the correct way. So like being friends with benefits with people is fine. Do I
Until
think
it's
usually
not.
someone catches, someone always catches feelings.
Yeah, and
But
sometimes it's the guy.
You can also just casually hook up with people. Like if you want to have one night stands, that's totally fine. Obviously be safe with it, get tested, use condoms, contraception, use that obviously. But you can go around and hook up with whoever you want. Obviously that's fine. We're not going to shame that. But if you're going to do that, you have to do it in the correct way. This goes for guys and for girls. You could be a fuck girl. I feel like at one point in my life, I was being a little bit of a fuck girl. Oh my God. Okay. You guys, spring is right around the corner. As we all know, I love cleaning, and spring cleaning is by far my favorite.
Please come over and spring clean my whole house.
I would love to. Spring is going to be here before we know it, and we've been stuck inside way too much. And I will be honest, I've gotten a little lazy with the cleaning, and I love a fresh start. I feel like it's time to purge, get rid of things that don't spark joy. And Macy's is the best place to go reintroduce some amazing things into your home. Furniture, mattresses, whatever you need to just have a fresh start for this wonderful spring season.
Oh my God, I'm literally in that mood too because all I've been wanting to do is redo our guest room.
Oh, we just talked about this.
As well as my office. The other night, Rem came over and was helping me kind of just picturing everything because if you guys know our office, it needs an update, needless to say. And it's perfect because now through March 8th at Macy's, you can actually get 20 to 60% off furniture, mattresses, rugs, and so much more. Like we said, perfect for updating that office, yo.
Also, in case, your house is already spick and span, you're good to go. Macy's also has great deals on wardrobe essentials like shirts, tanks, leggings. Obviously, the weather's going to change. We need to, get some cute workout clothes. Got to get our wardrobes ready, and Macy's is the place to do it.
Also, this is the perfect episode to talk about this. We actually have a custom site with Macy's. You can just go to macys.com/prettybasic and you can literally get all of our personalized picks, the exclusive Pretty Basic favorites and picks that we created a whole site with all of our favorites from Macy's just for you guys. There's some super cute tops from Free People, skirts from guests, shoes to go with any style, and so much more. So again, that's at macys.com/prettybasic. Go check it out if you're looking for some great ideas to add to your spring fashion collection.
Some exclusions apply. See macys.com for details. Last but not least, for I feel like different levels of fuckboy, it's the guy who plays you for an X amount of time, whether it is a month, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, whatever. Some girls, I know someone who's been getting played by a fuckboy for 8 years now, I want to say. And it's so hard, and my heart goes out to her so much because I understand how push and pull it could be. Obviously it's on, off all the time, but it's so sad to see because every time I see them, I'm just you deserve so much better. You deserve so much better. But I also understand how she knows that. But at the same time, it's so easy to get pulled right back in.
Well, also, the longer it goes, the harder it is. Mm-hmm. When now in her head she has, but we've been together 8 years.
Yeah.
In her head, they're together.
Yeah.
And she's hoping, even if he is seeing other people or with someone else at different times, she's oh no, he'll come back to me.
He's still thinking about me, things like that.
And the thing is it's a comfort thing. He's keeping her around because when he doesn't have someone else, then he can come back to her.
Oh, I think the go-to little situation for a fuckboy is the back burner girl.
Yes.
Which the back burner girl or back burner boy, whichever which, is when the person who is playing you knows that you like them more and they keep you around because you're comfortable. You will always be there. They're just keeping you on low simmer in the back so they can do whatever they're doing in the front.
Retractable leash.
Or retractable leash. They're cooking, you're just the compound butter melting in the back, low simmer, not burning. And then in the front, they're roasting vegetables. They're cooking a chicken. They're doing all these things, seeing other people. That's what I was trying to get to. And they're always keeping you around in the back because you'll just always be there. And it's a comfortability thing. It's an ego stroking thing. Like, I've been the back burner girl. I feel like all of us have probably been a back burner girl or boy at some point. And it's a shitty feeling, but also at the same time, you're so in your own head that you're convincing them. You're convincing yourself. You're like, no, they love me. Like, it's going to work out. They're going to come back. And the sad truth is, they probably don't. They probably will never choose you first. And also, why would you want someone who would keep you in the back? Why would you want someone who would never choose you first? You want to be inexplicably like their first choice. And being a back burner girl is not that.
I feel like everything is perspective. When you switch, and it's hard. It's hard for me. It's easy for me to say. And then when I have a crush on someone, I'm like, oh my God, love me. So just saying that. But it's so, the switch of like, choose me to nah, like, I'm gonna be the one choosing, I'm gonna be the one in control of stuff more, like that, I swear, is like such a weird switch. And I think a lot of guys are just used to girls being like available
completely,
and same like as a girl, like the guy who's just nice, who like always has had a crush on you, you're just like not into because you're like, oh, I could have that, versus like, I don't know. And that's horrible.
My God, no, seriously.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's been there's been definitely a handful of guys who like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm sure like if I was into you, like it could happen, but I'm like, I don't want that. Yeah. Like, it totally goes both ways, both genders, whatever. Point being though, like, people just want someone who's sure of themselves and like, think of what you're looking for. Like, you want someone who's confident. You want someone who's just, sure of themselves. Someone who like, I'm rambling.
Bitch, if you're listening to this right now, and if they tell you they are not looking for commitment, they are not vulnerable, they don't like to open up, they don't like to do that kind of stuff, just cut it off. If you're looking for a relationship, cut it off.
Cut it off. And you know what? That's where you say, awesome, I respect that. I actually am wanting something more serious. So like, if you ever mature, like, let me know. And then they're gonna be like, wait, maybe I do want something serious.
I don't think that's gonna, no, that's not gonna happen.
I'm kidding.
I think I've had so many guys to my face be like, I don't like being vulnerable. I don't want to open up.
And what's funny is it's like it goes in one ear and out the other,
For me?
Yeah, for it's like, oh, I've heard, like, you expect them to say that, but then still deep down you're like, but I'm like,
every time I heard it, I'd be like, oh, that's cool that they know they're not vulnerable, which no, it's not cool that they know they're not vulnerable. Like, they should work on that, because that's actually a nice attribute and something that I feel like you need to do just as a human being, is be able to like be real with yourself and like just for your own emotions, whatever you're dealing with. But I remember being like, oh, I can get them to open up. I can get them to do this. And like, I couldn't. And it was harder on me because in the end, and when they don't choose you, pick me, choose me, love me.
But again, why are they on this huge pedestal where they get to just choose?
Yeah, no, I get
I
it.
hate that.
But it took me so long to get over each guy, because I would solely put so much on me being like, how come I couldn't do it? How come I wasn't good enough? Why wasn't it me? Why couldn't I make them vulnerable? Why couldn't they pick me and things like that? When really has nothing to do with me. No. And most of the time why they're a fuckboy is because something has happened to them in the past, whether they gotten their heart broken by another girl, whether it's just like family trauma or whatever it is. Like, there is a reason why they are choosing to just kind of hook up with random people. And that's totally fine. Again, it's just all about how they do it. Leading back to my article from Men's Health, which is, this is the way to hook up and have casual sex properly. The first tip is, don't lead your hookup on. And I think that's just solely based on honesty, which again, I will say there have been so many guys who are like, I'm not looking for a relationship. And then it's on me being like, well, I can change that. So I get that.
But there are guys who purposely do lead someone on because they are just trying to hook up.
Yes.
That's interesting, though, that a guy wrote that. Don't leave your hookup on.
Don't leave your hookup on. He says, one problem with hookups is that they often look a lot like dates. Two people match on a dating app, then they meet at a bar. If they both resemble their pictures and nobody says anything racist, they might go home together. Sometimes they go on a few more dates or date type adventures.
Again,
he tells her that this strong working mother taught him to respect women and that he loves summers in Nantucket. Maybe we'll go sometimes, he says coyly. Oh my God, I just realized there's a couple that I definitely started like dating in the beginning. Like we went on dates and then it turned only into like, actually, I just want to hook up. Interesting.
Because here's another whole thing. The word date and dating can mean 20 million different things. If you're going on a date with someone, that does not mean you are dating. But if you're dating around, you can be dating around. I know it doesn't make sense, but it does. Going on one date doesn't mean like, okay, now we're dating. But if you're like going on a few dates and it's something serious, then you are dating someone.
Yeah.
But if you're just dating around for yourself, that means you're going on different dates.
I think seeing someone is
Seeing
more
someone
casual.
is more. Oh yeah, I'm seeing someone.
I think so.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
for sure.
No, I don't know.
Seeing someone? I'm
seeing
dating someone.
No, seeing someone sounds more serious now. I'm
seeing someone.
I'm quote unquote dating Cal, correct?
Yeah. Is he your boyfriend?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, this article says, so when he tells her one date later after taking her out that he's quote unquote not really looking to date anyone right now, she has no choice but to curse him and all his descendants, like his mom and like whoever.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, don't wait until she's emotionally invested in you to tell her that you're just in it for a hookup.
See, I will say, even though sometimes I go back and forth, would I rather a guy straight up right off the bat be like, hey, I'm just trying to hook up? Because then you're like, ew, douche, what the hell? You know, you're just trying to get in my pants. But then, why have the conversation if it's just going to go there anyway? Like, why waste the time?
I think so, because some girls are also just looking to hook up. So maybe it's like shoot your shot if you find someone who's also looking to hook up.
I feel like I go back and forth. There's times where I'm like, no, at least like say hey, you know what I mean? And then there's other times where I'm like, oh, okay, well.
But you're not looking to just hook up. So
No.
like that's like weeding it out quickly for both you and for him.
Yes,
So
yes,
I actually
yes.
think that's better. It's like be honest and straight up, because you would not like to talk to
Self-aware.
someone for months and then have them be like, okay, so I just wanted to hook up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then you're hooked, line, sinker. Okay. This guy says, okay, so you can lead her on a little bit, which is normal.
Of
It's about the
course.
chase.
Yeah.
But
I love a chase.
you have to be, no, everyone loves the chase.
So I think this goes to the next part of this, which is what's something else tangible we can do to get over them. As much as you don't want to hear this, you have to find someone in your life, whether it's your best friend or just a friend or an acquaintance, to keep you accountable. This is what I've always loved about Rem. She's never like lied to me, well, other than one time, to like meet up with she's always been so open with me, and I'm like I was very aware of, I was like, oh, this is just like what you're needing to go through right now, so like no judgment. You need to find someone like that, because we're amazing. I'm kidding. So the reason why your friends and your best friends get so pissed at you when you go and see him isn't because you're seeing him. It's because you tell them you're over him and you don't care, but then behind their back, you go and see them. Like, that's why they're pissed, because you're not listening to them, and it feels like you're not respecting like their opinion, because they know you so well. They want the best for you, but how can, like, it's almost like Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like, you can't come crying to them every other night and then like do the opposite of their advice that you're like begging for. I had a friend who would always ask for my advice and like never listen to it, which is fine to not listen to it. But then by the 100th time she's coming crying, I'm like, it feels pointless for me to like waste my breath on this. So trying to avoid all of that, be real with yourself, so that way you can be real with your friends and say, hey, honestly, I'm feeling a little lonely. I need some validation. I'm going to go see Josh or whoever it is. That is so, and then if they have a problem with that, like, at least you're being open and honest, and your real friends will be able to be like, you know what, this is just a moment you need. I don't think you should, but I still love you regardless of whatever you do. Be real with yourself so you can be real with your friends, so that they can hold you accountable in whatever way you want.
I think a good thing for me when I was actually really through the thick of the fuckboys, I liked having different friends around that gave me a lot of different opinions. The thing is, I always knew what I was going to do deep down. I knew I was going to be a dumb bitch, and I needed to go through my little dumb bitch time, and that's fine. I had my dumb bitch summer, and I was just doing whatever I wanted. But it was really nice to have friends who, on one side, like Asian Girl Squad, was very much like, stop it. Stop being dumb. Like, you need to, like, you deserve better, da 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 da. And I was like, you're right, I do deserve better. But then I also had like you and Ollie on the other side who were like, you need to do what you want. You can do whatever you want. But ultimately, everyone is very accepting of just like, we want whatever's best for you, Rem. So do whatever. But I appreciated having everyone's genuine, honest opinions. And I think that's something to really think about when you're going through it. It's like really see how your friends are reacting. I had a friend also at the time with one of them who was so toxic and I didn't even realize, but like she would be so mean to me, just like when I would tell her thing, like I
feel like there's just a lot of jealousy there.
There was a lot of stuff going on, but I feel like that's actually a really good thing also is when you're going through it, really see how your friends are reacting and if they're being supportive or not. And if they're not being supportive, there's a way to do it. Like technically Asian Girl Squad wasn't supportive of what I was doing in the way where they're like, you know, we love you, please don't do this because you're going to get hurt. That's like quote unquote not supportive of what I'm doing, but also supportive of me versus like the other friend would be like, you're dumb. He's never going to love you. Yeah. Like that's just mean.
But like, yeah, I think the biggest thing is in my head, I truly believe everyone will go through heartache at some point in their life. Not saying like, oh, throw yourself into it, but it's inevitable. So I feel like a lot of people try to save their friends from also going through heartbreak because they've been through it and they know, and trust me, it's not worth it. He's going to hurt you, blah, blah, blah. But it's so inevitable in life. And as much as you want to save someone else from going through horrible heartache, like it's bound to happen, regardless of who it is. Like everyone has that first love who like crushed your heart, and it sucks seeing someone go through that. So I think realizing your friends are coming from a good place, but still don't lie to them. Don't they see right through it. If like you could literally say like, oh, like we're just hooking up, blah, blah, blah. Like they know what desperate eyes look like. They've been through it. Like
they've been in that back of the Uber at 2 a.m.
That's why they can clock it, because they've been there. So I think just, again, being real with yourself and all that it's such a huge thing.
I think also another thing to keep in mind